Welcome back to the show, everyone. So nice to see you. Let's jump right into it. So today we're talking about what I consider to be a real pro tip. Like, this is one of those things that for many people, they are not really thinking about right now, and you really, really do. So this only applies to people that are currently in that process of shopping for a home, right? Like, you're not under contract yet, but like, we're looking, right? We already went and we got a pre-approval. What is critical for you to keep on top of right now is an updated sense of where are we on this pre-approval. AKA, look, let's say you got pre-approved for a $400,000 house, right? Which is always going to be a reflection of your income and your debt to income ratio and a few different factors that credit, things that lenders look at, right? They're going to say, hey, look, based on where the interest rate is now, you can get pre-approved for a $400,000 house. But let's just say that you got pre-approved for that $400,000 house when the interest rate was at, I'm just going to throw out a number, 4.8%, right? Which is since they started climbing. I mean, that's within the past, I don't know, hypothetically, month or two ballpark that I'm guessing, right? So within the last month or two, they were at about 4.8%. Well, today at the time of recording this, they're at 5.64% as a nationwide average. So it's very important with those hikes that you keep in touch with your lender and you just say, Bill, because of course his name's Bill, right? Who else would be a lender? So Bill, with the rate hike, am I good at 400 still, or do we need to decrease the number? Because the rise in the interest rate means that your payment is more, which is going to affect your debt to income ratios in terms of what your housing budget is on your monthly payment. So he might come back to you and go, hey, based on where the rate is now with the 5.64%, we've got to drop your price that you're shopping for to about 380. Right? Which is, I'm going to take a guess, that's probably about correct. So you may be in the category, however, of, hey, look, we make enough money that like it doesn't really matter, like, because we had plenty of like cushion room here, but we just set the budget at 400, even though we could have gone to 500. But historically, in my experience, most people shop towards the top of their budget. So if you take someone and they're approved at 400 grand, most of the time the houses that they're interested in are going to be between, let's just say, 375 and 400. Because most people just, they want as much house as they can get, and especially at a time when housing, the price of the house has gone up so much, it's like, well, we need to spend more to get something that we're even interested in. So most people are shopping at the top of their budgets, which means the last thing you want to do is get under contract on that $400,000 house, but because the rates went up half a point, you're screwed. You can't get the financing now. And what if you have to cancel and you figure this out after some of your earnest money is non-refundable, which is very common these days that people are offering non-refundable earnest money. So you get this contract accepted. We've got $5 grand that goes down that's not refundable. Your lender looks at the contract and it looks at what the rate is and he's like, yo, you can't get a loan on this house. And if you don't have the cash to bridge the gap, if the lender's like, well, if you come up with an extra 10 in cash, then we could do it. And if you're like, I don't have the extra 10 in cash, you're screwed. I mean, you got to cancel the contract and you lose your earnest money. That's awesome, which is sad, but it's also a waste of time for everyone. That was a waste of time for your lender, your agent, and you, and the sellers. So like, you don't want to wind up in that situation. So point being to this, look, stay really closely in touch with your lenders right now to just keep that updated pre-approval number. Like, hey, Bill, are we good? Like, it ticked up to 5.5, it ticked up to 5.6, 5.7. Are we good? Do we need to make an adjustment? And then go based on what he says, okay? Very, very important. I can't stress that enough. Booze, I was really excited about this. So Old Forester, I'm starting to get more into Old Forester. It's just one of those distilleries I want to start picking up kind of all the bottles and building out the Old Forester collection. So this is the 1910, the Old Fine whiskey. And I'm excited to try this because I think it's kind of a throwback whiskey, so I'm really intrigued by it. The 1920 bottle, the Prohibition style, I mean, that is, an annihilation. I mean, no human could drink that without some ice or a little bit of like a few drops of water or something. I mean, it's intense. So I'm excited to try this because I have a feeling it's going to be a bit more mellow, although at 93 proof, probably still got a little bit of heat. But looking at this against the light, the color is amazing. I know it's tough to tell on camera unless that helps at all. Does that help? Can you guys see that? Phenomenal color. It's one of the first things that struck me on this bottle that I'm really excited about. So, excited to try that. It's going to be a minute because, as mentioned, got a little bit of a backlog on the whiskey shelf right now. So hope you guys are doing good. If you need help, let me know. Real estate wise, like my company, we operate in a lot of different states and have agents in, Dallas and Vegas and Florida and, many places. So if you need help, just let us know. Our website's always linked below. If you got questions, real estate related, throw them down in the comments. I'll answer them and be sure to get back to you guys. Beyond that, hope you guys are doing well. If you have useless dogs like I do, I don't know. What do you do with a useless animal like that, right? You just, what do you do? Look at that nose. How could anyone love that nose? Okay, you guys take care. We'll see you soon.